You have probably heard this rule somewhere before. Save 25 times of your annual income and you can retire peacefully without ever working again. It's everywhere, from finance blogs to Instagram reels. But here's the problem, it doesn't work in India. That 25x rule was built for US on US market data from the 1990s, where inflation hovered about 2% and the fixed income returns were healthy as compared to the inflation. In India, inflation alone eats half of your returns and markets behave very differently. So if you retire with 5 crore and start pulling out 20 lakhs, which is 4%, it might feel sustainable until inflation, taxes, and a few bad market years quietly erode your safety net. You don't go broke overnight, but you'll start running out of time. The right withdrawal rate, the math behind your corpus, the simple frameworks that you can make your money outlive you. So, by the end of this video, you will understand what should ideally be your retirement corpus value, safest withdrawal rate, and the kind of risks associated. Chapter 1, the Indian retirement shift. There was a time when retirement planning wasn't even a thing. Your parents or their parents didn't sit with spreadsheets or SIP calculators. They had pensions, lifetime jobs, and joint families that acted as safety nets. But the India you and I live is in a different planet. We have moved from government jobs to private jobs, from joint families to single flats, from company will take care to I have to take care. And that shift changes everything. The burden of financial dignity in old age has quietly moved from system to the individual. There are no guaranteed pensions, no employer backed medical cover after 60, no default safety nets. Now, whether you can stop working at 55 or are forced to keep working till 70, it's entirely up to how well you plan today. Most people don't realize it yet. They think retirement is decades away and so they'll figure it out later. But later comes faster than you think. Inflation doesn't wait, health doesn't pause. So the question isn't when should I start planning? It's how much do I actually need to live with peace and dignity when the salary stops? That's when the idea of safe withdrawal rate enters the picture. The formula that tells you how much you can spend each year without running out of money. Chapter 2, the safe withdrawal rate. So let's get to the question everyone secretly worries about. You have worked for 30 years, you have built your savings, but when the salary actually stops, how much can you withdraw without running out of your money? That's where the concept of safe withdrawal rate or SWR comes in. It's the percentage of your total retirement corpus that you can safely withdraw every year for the rest of your life without depleting it too soon. The idea comes from American financial planner William Bengen, who in the 1990s studied decades of US market data and found that 4% annual withdrawal rate could last you around 30 years even through the market crashes. Over time, this evolved into what most people today recognize as 25 times your annual expense rule. The idea that you need a retirement corpus roughly 25 times your yearly expenses to safely withdraw 4% each year. But there's an important detail most people miss. The 4% rule doesn't mean withdrawing 4% of your corpus every year. It means withdrawing 4% in the first year and then increasing that withdrawal every year to account for inflation. So for example, if your retirement corpus is say 1 crore, you withdraw 4 lakh in the first year. And if the inflation in the first year is 6%, then in the second year, you withdraw 4.24 lakhs. And every year after that, the withdrawal keeps rising with inflation, regardless of how the market performs. So this is essentially what a 4% rule is. But here's what almost nobody mentions. The 4% rule was built for a completely different market. The US had stable inflation of about 2%, their bond returns were decent, equity markets mature, and currency was stable. India is a different story. Higher inflation, more volatility, and unpredictable returns on both debt and equity. So, applying that same 4% blindly here is like wearing someone else's prescription glasses. It distorts the reality. In Indian conditions, research and practice both points to a more conservative about 2.5 to 3.5% range as a sustainable safe withdrawal rate. Meaning, if you want to withdraw 10 lakh a year after retirement, your corpus should be roughly about 3 to 4 crores. It sounds like a lot, but that's the price of financial independence in a country where inflation quietly compounds against you. And this is where most people make their first mistake. They focus on growing their corpus, not on protecting its longevity. But even if you build that perfect number, there is another danger waiting right after you retire, a risk that can quietly destroy your plan before it even starts. Chapter 3, the sequence of return risk. Imagine this: you're finally retired, you've done everything right, saved for years, built a strong corpus, even followed the safe withdrawal rate. But in your very first year of retirement, the market crashes by 10%. Now you still need money to live. So you withdraw from your portfolio just like planned. But here's the problem: you're withdrawing from a smaller base. Your principal has already shrunk and you're pulling money out of it at the worst possible time. That's called the sequence of return risk. It's not about how much return you get over time, but when you get it. If bad years hit early in retirement, your portfolio may never recover because every withdrawal locks in a loss permanently. To make this clearer, let's look at an example. Two retirees each start with 5 crore and withdraw 4%. Both earn the same average return over 20 years. But if one of them faces a market dip in the very first year, his money could run out nearly a decade earlier. A 10% fall at the start can raise the failure chance of 4% plan from 25% to 75%, and it's brutal. That's why timing matters so much, not just when you invest, but when you start withdrawing. And while we can't predict the markets, we can design systems to survive them. So what's the next step? Understanding how to build that system. Chapter 4, the math behind freedom. Now let's take all this theory and bring it to life with an example. Imagine you're 45-year-old today. You already saved about 2.5 crores and you want to retire by 55. Your current monthly expenses are about 1.5 lakhs. You expect to earn about 10% annual returns on your investments. And let's assume the inflation to be about 6%. So here's what will happen. Over the next 11 years, your 2.5 crore corpus compounds to roughly 7 crores. But your expenses won't stay at 1.5 lakhs, they'll rise with inflation to about 2.8 lakhs a month by the time you retire. To comfortably sustain those higher costs for the next 25-30 years, you'll need a total corpus of somewhere between 8 crore and 12 crore. That's the mathematical bridge between what I have and what I'll need. Now the next logical question is, how do you close this gap? Well, with an additional SIP of about 60,000 per month, you can reach that 8 to 12 crore goal comfortably by 55, assuming the same return and inflation assumption. It's not magic, it's math. And this math is difference between forced employment at 65 and financial freedom at 55. That's the power of knowing your number. Because once you know it, you can start working towards it instead of guessing your way into the future. Chapter 5, more flexibility results in longevity. Now let's talk about what really separates a fragile retirement from a resilient one. That's flexibility. Most people think that retirement has a fixed number formula. The plan in their head is simple. Withdraw 4% in the first year, then every year after that just increase the withdrawal by inflation and repeat this process year after year, assuming everything will work out. But real life doesn't work in straight lines. Market rises and fall, inflation changes pace, expenses fluctuate, and a rigid withdrawal rate can break even the best planned portfolio. That's why the smartest retirees follow dynamic withdrawal strategies, systems that adjust spending based on market conditions. Take the inflation forgo method, for example. In good years, when markets perform well, you increase your withdrawal rates by inflation. But in bad years, when your portfolio is in negative, you skip the increase and stick to the same rupee amount as previous year. That one small act, holding steady instead of inflating, can extend your corpus by several years. Then there is the guardrail method. Here, your withdrawal moves within a band, say between 3% to 5%. When markets fall, you tighten spending near 3%. When they recover, you loosen it slightly. It's simple, rule-based system that protects you from panic while keeping your lifestyle stable. These flexible methods can push your safe withdrawal rates higher, closer to 4.5%, and reduce the total corpus you need from 33x to about 22x. These flexible withdrawal methods can meaningfully change the math of retirement. Instead of sticking rigidly to traditional 33x annual expense rule, a dynamic withdrawal approach can push your safe withdrawal rate closer to 4.5%, bringing the required corpus down to about 22 times your annual expenses. To put this into perspective, if you need 1 lakh per month in retirement, your annual expenses are 12 lakh. Under that traditional framework, that number of retirement corpus is about 3.9 to 4 crores. But if you are open to using a dynamic withdrawal strategy, the same lifestyle could be supported with a corpus of about 2.6 crores. So that's a reduction of more than 1.3 crore purely by changing how you withdraw, not how much you earn or invest. In short, discipline plus adaptability equals longevity. Because in retirement, it's not the smartest or the richest who survive, it's the most flexible. Chapter 6, the portfolio that outlives you. If your withdrawal strategy decides how long your money lasts, your portfolio mix decides how fast it grows and how steady it stays. Most people either fear equity or over depend on it. Both extremes are dangerous. Equity gives you growth but can crush you with volatility. Debt gives you stability but barely beats inflation. The secret lies in balance. A well-designed retirement portfolio usually follows a 50-40-10 structure. Roughly about 50% in equities for long-term growth, 40% in debt instruments like bonds, fixed income funds, or government securities for stability, 10% in gold or similar assets as the inflation hedge and crisis buffer. This blend works because it mirrors how real world behaves. Equities compound wealth when markets rise, debt cushions when they fall, and gold offsets inflation shocks. But allocation is not a one-time choice, it's a moving target. Every year, you need to rebalance, trim the assets that have grown too much and add to the ones that have lagged. This simple discipline forces you to sell high, buy low, and keep your portfolio healthy through every market cycle. Think of it as an ecosystem. Equity is the sunlight, debt is the soil, and gold is the water. You need all three in the right proportion for your wealth to stay alive long after you have stopped earning. Because here the goal isn't just to grow your corpus, it's to make it last. Chapter 7, Building the Stability Engine. Once you have decided how to divide your money, the next question is where to park the stable part of it, the debt, and the income generating layer. In retirement, this layer is your oxygen supply. It's what pays your bills while your equity investments recover from market swings. So this needs to be steady, liquid, and low stress. For the near term, say the next 2 to 3 years of expenses, keep the money in liquid or short-term debt funds. They give you quick access without worrying about market timing. For the medium to long term, move a portion into high-quality debt instruments, corporate bonds, government securities, or fixed maturity plans that deliver predictable returns. Some retirees also treat real estate as debt-like asset. If it generates regular rental income, it acts as a natural hedge against inflation while adding tangible stability to the portfolio. But it's important to view property not as your yield bucket, but a speculative bet. Empty apartments don't pay your bills. Cash flowing ones do. Another growing option is REITs, which let you earn rental yields and appreciation without owning physical property. They bring liquidity and professional management into an otherwise illiquid asset class. The broader idea is simple. Build an income engine that keeps the light on no matter what markets do. Your equity builds wealth, your debt and real estate preserves it. And retirement planning isn't about chasing the highest return or timing the markets perfectly. It's about buying freedom, the freedom to live life on your terms without financial fear. If you understand your withdrawal rate, know your numbers, stay flexible, and rebalance with the discipline, you'll never have to worry about outliving your money. Because retirement isn't end of earning, it's the beginning of living off what you have earned wisely. A well-built plan doesn't just give you returns, it gives you dignity, control, and peace of mind. 3 things no market crash can ever take away. If you found this breakdown useful, subscribe to the Good Luck channel. We try to simplify complex financial ideas into clear, actionable insights so that you can make smarter money decisions without jargon or guesswork. Because the more you understand your money, the more control you have over your freedom.